This listening builds simple English step by step. The sentences are short and clear. You hear real emotion and natural rhythm. It trains both your ears and thinking. Stay with it, and you will improve fast. Let this story guide your English.
He tries his first fried chicken. The crispy taste shocks him. His fingers lift up. He asks where to throw it. The driver rolls down the window. This is what we do, he says. Shirley laughs at him. He tries it too. He throws the bone out. There you go, he says. A girl sees them at the light. She looks very shocked. A white man drives a black man. In the 1960s, that was rare. But Tony does not care. He waves at the girl. No one expects this. Just days before, Tony was racist. His wife gave two men water. Tony threw the cups away. His wife felt helpless. She could not change him. She picked the cups back up. In that tense time, people feared race. Tony's family was Italian. They also faced bias. Tony wanted to fit in. He worked as a club bouncer. If trouble came, boss called Tony, "Live." Tony fixed it fast. But he wanted more. He bribed a clerk sometimes. He took items secretly. Guests became angry fast. Tony then showed up. He found the item. Guests felt thankful. Tony got good tips. He tried hard to earn. He got home at sunrise. One night he kicked wrong. He hit metal by accident. The club closed for months. Tony lost his job. He needed money fast. He joined a food contest. The man ate 24. Tony was tired halfway. He walked home slowly. His wife thought he was crazy. Tony showed $50. He ate 26. But he can't do that daily. Soon his cousin found a way. A rich pianist needed a driver. The pay was very good. Tony went to apply. He tried to stay calm. But the home shocked him. The room looked like a palace. Beautiful things were everywhere. The owner was a black man. He looked very noble. He sat like a king. Tony felt uneasy. But he needed money. Shirley saw his tension. You hate working for me. Tony did not tell truth. He told a nice story. Shirley moved on fast. He planned a long tour. The South was dangerous. He needed a strong driver. The driver lived with him. Tony stood up to leave. He could not do that. Shirley asked him to stay. You are the best pick. Tony made his terms. Pay me 25% more. And no personal care. Or no deal. Thank you for stopping by. Tony had other options. He could do small jobs. He could earn fast cash. He might skip club work. But Tony had limits. He sold his watch instead. He feared losing family. Early next morning, Shirley called. He agreed to all terms. He asked about Tony's wife. Is she okay with this? She felt sad but agreed. She knew he needed work. On the travel day, Tony left. The agent paid half first. He warned Tony many times. Get him to each show. Miss one, lose the pay. He gave Tony a green book. It showed safe hotels. It listed safe diners. Black people needed it. After the agent left, his wife came. She held the payments softly. She asked him to write letters. Tony thought it was trouble. But he agreed for her.
We tell movie stories in simple English, so you can picture everything in your mind and learn English naturally through understanding. Follow the challenge, make learning English easier.
Tony says goodbye to his wife. He drives Shirley south. The trip will change both. They come from two worlds. Their lives feel very different. They dislike each other. Tony thinks Shirley is fake. Shirley thinks Stoney is rude. Soon they stop talking. The car becomes quiet. In the desert, Tony stops. He gets out to pee. Shirley hates this act. Tony walks back suddenly. He grabs his wallet. Shirley feels insulted. After a long day, they arrive. It is the first show stop. They rest in the same motel. Late at night, Tony steps out. The band talks with girls. Only Shirley sits alone. He drinks whiskey quietly. He sits with lonely eyes. Before the show, Shirley warns him. Be polite inside tonight. No rude acts again. People here have class. Tony shrugs and refuses. He stays at the door. Shirley thinks it is fine. Sound compromise, he says. The host gives a grand intro. The concert finally begins. Tony is shocked inside. Shirley is a piano genius. He played at age 3. He had concerts at 18. He even played at the White House. Twice in 1 year. He has 3 doctor degrees. Music, psychology, and art. Tony starts to change. Shirley feels different now. Tony hears the music again. Shirley plays with full heart. The melody touches Tony. Tony soon walks outside alone. He gambles with drivers. Shirley sees it and fumes. He scolds Tony harshly. People fight to climb. But you waste chances. Tony does not get mad. He hears the care inside. He feels pushed to grow. He writes a letter home. He shares their daily trip. He praises Shirley first time. Their bond starts warming. But they fight again soon. On the road, Tony sees Jade. He wants one for his wife. A piece falls on the ground. Tony pockets it fast. Shirley sees everything. He hates theft deeply. He orders Tony to return it. Tony says it is not theft. But he finally gives in. He returns it unwillingly. They act like school kids. They reach the next venue. Tony checks the piano first. He sees a broken piano. Trash covers the top. Tony gets angry fast. He demands a Steinway. Staff refuse the request. They mock Shirley harshly. They call him black. Tony tries to stay calm. Then they insult Italian. Tony slaps one hard. A new piano arrives soon. Tony feels true bias now. It hurts more than expected. He feels for Shirley now. He writes another letter. He praises the music more. On the road, they talk more. Tony learns Shirley married once. Music and love clashed. The marriage finally ended. Shirley grows quiet again. Tony suddenly with joy. They have reached Kentucky. He wants real KFC here. He brings a big bucket. Shirley refuses to try. He never ate fried chicken. He gives no reason. Tony guesses it fast. Tony still pushes him. Shirley takes one slowly. He lifts his fingers up. They eat happily together. They throw bones outside. Tony tosses a soda cup. Shirley gets serious instantly. Bones can break down. Plastic harms the land. Tony picks the cup back. As they go south, hate grows. Shirley stays in one motel. It is old and broken. He drinks on the balcony. Other black men mock him. Tony stays in another motel. He checks green book spots. A knock hits the door. Shirley is in trouble. He drank alone in anger. White men attack him there. Tony finds him with bruises. Tony tells them to stop. One pulls out a knife. Tony pretends to draw a gun. Thugs think he is bluffing. The bar owner stops all. They drag drunk Shirley out. Tony explodes with anger. He warned him many times. Never go out alone. Night is even worse. Shirley keeps apologizing. He has one question left. Do you really have a gun? Tony says no directly. The show goes on next day. Shirley plays with great skill. The whole hall cheers again. Tony feels a bit sad. Shirley shines on stage. But he faces shame outside. Respect comes only on stage. They drove to south right after. The heat breaks the car. Tony cools the engine. Shirley steps out to look. He lifts his head slowly. Black workers stare at him. Fields stretch all around. They work hard under sun. Shirley walks down the car. Every eye turns to him. Same skin, different fate. Workers look confused. A black man being served. Shirley feels mixed inside. He sees their suffering. He knows he moved upward. But dignity is still missing. That night, Shirley visits the mansion. His show gets loud praise. But dinner becomes a problem. They only give him fried chicken. It links back to old times. Long ago, black slaves suffered. Laws said they were free. But they needed money first. White owners hated that idea. They blocked black progress. They banned raising big animals. It kept freedom out of reach. Only cheap chicken remained. Fried chicken became common food. Some racists mocked this link. They saw chicken as a label. Offering chicken felt insulting. Even the bathroom is unfair. He must use a small shack. It is only for black guests. Shirley refuses to be lowered. He chooses the motel instead. It takes him 30 minutes. The host says, "We will wait." Tony cannot understand him. He cannot read Shirley's anger. Shirley still smiles politely. Tony would fight if it were him. No one gives him an answer. The tour keeps moving smoothly. Tony writes letters sometimes. Shirley cannot stand the letters. He says Tony writes poorly. No feeling in your words. Shirley teaches him line by line. They craft a beautiful letter. Tony's wife cries with joy. She thinks Tony changed. This brings them closer. They even shop together. Shirley enters a suit store. He wants to try a suit. A white clerk stops him. The words sound polite, but it is clear racism. I see, Shirley replies. He cannot show his anger. That night, he plays fiercely. His keys hit with deep anger. After the show, Shirley meets a man. They talk very closely. Police suddenly rush in. Shirley gets caught naked. Tony arrives right away. Shirley has no towel on. Tony talks fast to help. He gets Shirley out safely. Shirley feels deep shame. He snaps at Tony angrily. You fear losing money. You act nice for pay. And you reward the police. Tony feels wrongly blamed. His anger rises instantly. They argue loudly in the car. The night ends in silence. Next day, the cold air remains. They reach the next city. Things get worse fast. Tony steps out of the car. Two friends spot him. They joke in Italian. Working for a black man? Tony does not respond. He only says, "See you tonight." At night, Tony walks out. Shirley is already waiting. He understood the Italian talk. He fears Tony might quit. He offers more pay and rank. Tony says it is not needed. You pay me enough. I just reject my friends. Shirley finally relaxes. He says sorry for last night. Tony speaks softly this time. He shows some understanding. Their bond grows deeper. Shirley starts sharing his story. Tony now fights racism openly. Things look brighter now. But one stormy night changes it. A police car stops them. Tony is already stressed. The cop is a racist bully. He makes Stormy stand in rain. He orders Shirley out too. He mocks Tony's heritage. Tony finally loses control. He punches the officer. But trouble gets bigger. They both end up jailed. Tomorrow is the last show. Shirley fears missing it. He calls a lawyer for help. He scolds Tony for anger. Tony stays quiet in a corner. Soon Tony gets shot. Shirley called the president's brother. Tony cannot believe it. He talks nonstop after release. I can brag for life. Shirley feels deeply ashamed. This is abuse of power. Only trash would do that. Tony gets furious at once. I'm not high like you. I live like a black man, always begging to survive. Shirley tells him to stop the car. He walks into the storm alone. Tony runs to pull him back. Shirley finally explodes. You only see my glory. You don't see my loneliness. I try hard to change, but I fit nowhere. Whites reject me. Blacks reject me too. I don't know who I am. I don't know if I'm a man. Tony finally understands him. But he cannot fix it. Some battles cannot be solved. After the rain stops, they calm down. They drive deep into the night. They find a small motel. It accepts black guests. Tony and Shirley share a room. Tony writes a letter alone. His words look simple but clear. Shirley watches quietly. Tony learns about Shirley's brother. They have not talked in years. Tony suggests writing a letter. Many people fear the first step. Shirley says, "None of your business." But his eyes show emotion. Next day, They reach the last stop. The manager greets them warmly. He lets them park at the door. Special treatment for guests. Then he leads them to the back. He shows a tiny storage room. He calls it a resting room. It is barely 1 square meter. Tony and Shirley feel helpless. But they choose not to fight. Shirley needs to change clothes. Tony heads to dinner first. 2 bandmates arrive for dinner. They talk about the tiny room. Tony sighs for Shirley again. Why suffer in the South? Last time, no one answered him. This time, a friend explains. Shirley gave up better pay. He left respect in the North. He came to protest injustice. But injustice is a huge mountain. One man cannot move it. Even as a top guest. He cannot dine inside. Shirley finally has enough. Maybe Tony taught him courage. No dinner, then no show. The manager shows no respect. He pulls Tony aside quietly. He tries to bribe Tony. Tell him to behave. Tony feels deeply insulted. He wants to use violence. Shirley stops him quickly. Shirley knows Tony needs money. He knows refusal means no pay. So he lets Tony decide. Tony thinks for 1 second. He grabs Shirley and leaves. Money matters, but not today. Tonight he protects his friend. They leave the restaurant hungry. They enter a black bar. People stare at them oddly. The boss asks Shirley curiously, "What do you do in life?" Shirley avoids the answer. Tony pushes him to tell. Shirley looks at the piano. He walks up and plays. Soft music fills the bar. The noisy crowd grows quiet. 3 players join him. They play freely together. People dance with joy. Shirley finally lets go. He blends into the room. Tony cheers from the side. He claps for his friend. He feels truly happy. But life is not perfect. They walk out slightly drunk. Tony suddenly blocks Shirley. He fires 2 shots upward. 2 thieves run in fear. They had targeted Shirley. His clothes and money drew them. Tony's alerts saved them. He tells Shirley to be careful. Shirley says, "I knew it." After the scare, they drove back home. Tony promised to be home for Christmas. Snow replaces the heavy rain. Tony complains about the weather. Shirley suddenly acts serious. Use your lucky stone now. Shirley knows Tony kept it. Tony places it on the dash. But luck does not appear. A police car stops them again. This time to help, not harm. Their tire has blown out. The officer changes it kindly. Warmth fills the cold night. But Tony grows too tired. He decides to stop at a motel. The promise cannot be kept. At home, family gathers early. Dinner is about to start. His wife keeps checking outside. Christmas songs fill the streets. They finally return safely. Shirley drives the final miles. Tony sleeps loudly in the back. Tony wakes up at home. He invites Shirley inside. Shirley smiles, "Merry Christmas." He drives away into the night. Tony enters the small home. His family surrounds him warmly. Shirley sits alone in his mansion. His room holds many treasures. But he only holds the stone. Tony also seems distracted. His family finds him unusual. Someone jokes about his black boss. Tony gets angry immediately. No one insults black people. A knock hits the door suddenly. Tony rushes to open it. Shirley stands there nervous. He finally beats his loneliness. Tony hugs him happily. Family looks awkward at first, but they soon welcome him in. Tony's wife smiles warmly. She hates racism deeply. She sees real change at home. She also knows the letter's truth. Thank you for helping him write.
We tell movie stories in simple English, so you can picture everything in your mind and learn English naturally through understanding. Follow the challenge, make learning English easier.